Three, two, one. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Nine Hole Podcast. This is your host, Ian Miller. I am back with another episode. Just was fortunate enough to have Justin Steele on, left-handed pitcher, starting pitcher for the Chicago Cubs. Unbelievable night. We'll get it chopped up, edited out to you guys. You guys will see it. Looking forward to having that out. I wanted to touch on some baseball news over this past weekend. As many of you may know, this was the opening weekend for college baseball, right? So that holds a special place in my heart. That's kind of where I did the most damage, right? So coming up to the minor leagues, I was a fucking grinder. Didn't necessarily have the best stats. Obviously, when I got to the big leagues, it was a grind. What I killed the competition in college. It is something that I am passionate about. It is something that I try to teach to the next generation of student athletes, of baseball players, kind of, the mindset, the thought processes, how to go about, navigating the murky waters of college recruiting, scouting, all that good stuff. We'll get into that. But without further ado, I wanted to hit on some news over the course of this weekend. I've touched on this already on the Nine Hole Podcast here live on No Filter, but there are kind of new happenings coming out around this story. So the Oakland Athletics have kind of been struggling to make a plan, right? So where are they going to play in 2025, 2026, and 2027? There's a couple ideas out there on where they may be lining up to play, further their history. At the end of 2024, their lease is up with the Coliseum in Oakland. And so, as many of you know, they've been in the news, they've been in the media, getting shit going in Las Vegas. It doesn't look like that is the best idea right now. I'm going to take you through some things that I was hearing today and this weekend about some news that's kind of unfolding there. So the big question is where they're going to play in 2025, 26, and 27. There are a couple ideas out there, two of them being Las Vegas, right? So Vegas in the new stadium. I don't know if any of you guys have heard this or seen this, but the mayor of Las Vegas says fucking no chance, absolutely not. You guys should probably go back to the drawing board, find a way to stay in Oakland. I am sweating just talking about this. So dude, if they end up going to Las Vegas with their own stadium, that's not going to be ready until 2028 if it's approved. It doesn't look like that's going to be flying smooth. AAA, right? So Vegas, there is a AAA team there. The 51s, right? We talked a little bit about it on the podcast. That place is fucking sweet. That is major league quality. Everything. You can get lost in that away clubhouse. I don't necessarily know that's going to be the way to go. Where does that AAA team go? Where does the Oakland AAA team go if the big boy A's go in there? I don't know. Maybe we'll unpack that a little bit. There's rumblings about an expansion team kind of unfolding, kind of rolling out here in Salt Lake City. We'll touch on it. Sacramento, Sac City is going to be another spot that we'll kind of touch on. We'll elaborate on. There are some strings that they're going to need to be able to pull to get there. There's going to be some TV rights, broadcasting rights with NBC that might make that, the place to kind of look at, the place to go. Sacramento was dumpy. For me. I did not like it. I loved Salt Lake City. Do they go back to Oakland? Nah, dude. So it looks like the Oakland Athletics are in a tough position. Where are they going to be? Where are they going to be moving forward? And how are they going to proceed? We will kind of unpack that. We'll talk about it. But first, I wanted to touch on what an expansion team is. So there are a couple ideas behind what the Oakland Athletics can do. What options are open to them? Do they just pick up like a fucking hermit crab, right? Shedding the shell, tiptoe on to Sac City, Salt Lake City? Do they go to Vegas, or do they just stay there? Is there going to be an expansion team that kind of pops up in Salt Lake City? Man, the way an expansion team works, I had to do some research on it, right? I'm not well versed in it, and it sounds great, but it doesn't look that great on paper right now. So an expansion team, if Salt Lake City were to have an expansion team, they would need to pick up unprotected players from other organizations, right? It's not going to be the cream of the crop talent that they're going to be able to just pluck and hand pick from other organizations. It's going to be like, hey, dude, there's a dude over in the Angels or the Dodgers in Double A that is unprotected, Rule 5 eligible, whatever it is. We'll be able to pick up those guys, bring them over here to Salt Lake City. Let's try to win. I don't know if that's necessarily going to be, if you're going to be able to have a competitive team for a few years, right? You're going to have a bunch of Double A, Triple A unprotected players going up against, big boys in the league. That's might be tough to win, right? So that is the alternative to the Oakland A's packing their bags and moving to Sacramento, moving to Salt Lake City. The expansion team's hot. I think that's sexy. That could be cool. All right. Salt Lake City. So the leaders behind Salt Lake City's bid for an MLB team, they're ready. The Larry H. Miller Company, they've unveiled a $3.5 billion plus 100-acre development plan. So these guys are already rolling out these ideas in order to bring an expansion team, bring an MLB team to Salt Lake City, right? I've personally played there. I love it. The homeless population's a little crazy out there, but it's gorgeous scenery. Obviously, there's already two, major league teams there, being the Utah Jazz and Real Salt Lake. That's soccer for those of you that don't know. I did not know that. So the Power District is what all these plans are being unveiled. That's what it's called, the Power District, and it could feature a new MLB ballpark, and it could begin construction later this year. So these guys are fucking ready. And they have the tools in place. They have the money in place. They have the plans in place. This could get going here, this year. That's going to be an expansion team, right? So it's going to be Salt Lake City, just hand-picking players and plucking unprotected players from other organizations. They might be a little dumpy at first. It's going to be tough, like I said, to compete Double A and Triple A dudes against big league dudes, but it's exciting, right? That's exciting. That would be cool to have Major League Baseball team in Salt Lake City. There are other options as well, as I alluded to as in the opening statement here. Oakland and Sacramento, right? So the Oakland A's have a $70 million TV deal, right, to broadcast their games on TV, right, with NBC. So that could factor into where they go, where they stay, where they go next. As you know, Oakland is in California, right? So is Sacramento. So why would it make sense to go to Sacramento? It's kind of dumpy out there. It's a little bit dumpy out there, but they could retain the rights to this $70 million TV deal to broadcast, right? So if they go there, their games are going to be in network. They can still keep that TV deal. That could factor in there, man. Salt Lake City, they won't have that TV deal. So if they move out to Salt Lake City, or there's whatever it is, right? Hermit crab without the shell, boop, pick up, go over there, over to Salt Lake City. They're going to have to figure out TV broadcasting rights. They're going to have to go through all those negotiations. They're going to have to, pick and choose, man. It's good. It's going to be a whole debacle. And the time zone might play a little story into it. Maybe we'll touch on that. Maybe we won't. Like I said, Sacramento, they will still have the broadcasting rights there with NBC, with the TV, the channels that they play the games on. It would just be the Oakland A's moving to Sacramento, right? So if they were to up and leave and go to Sacramento, it would be the Oakland A's going to Sacramento. So it would be the Sacramento A's. That sounds fucking terrible. Number one. Number two, Sacramento stinks. Number three, negativity and the dark clouds kind of surrounding the organization, right? Surrounding the Oakland A's and the ownership. With those dark clouds, with all that negativity, with all this bullshit kind of going on, it would just be the Oakland A's uprooting from Oakland and traveling over to Sacramento, right? So that negativity and the dark clouds and all this stuff would just be uprooted to another city, right? So I don't like it. I'm not a fan of it. I think Salt Lake City, just on those that we've hit, that's the sexiest option. Vegas. I alluded on this at the opening statement. The city and the mayor doesn't even want to have them there. So they're talking about, a multi-billion-dollar state-of-the-art, beautiful stadium. out in Las Vegas, and the mayor doesn't want them there. Mayor doesn't think it's a good idea. Mayor thinks they should pack up, stay back, figure it out, she says. She says, figure it out, stay there. Stay there, you should figure it out. Go back to the drawing board. Is it worth kicking the tires on that AAA team? So as I said, that Las Vegas stadium, the Aviators, it's beautiful. They the 51s? Nah, they're the Aviators, bro. So that stadium's sick. It could definitely house a major league team. I'm sure that there will be renovations and additions maybe to this already brand new stadium if they were to make it, the home of a major league team. But that brings up the question, then where does that AAA team go to make way for the big league team? I have no idea. Jeff Passan, not 100% sure how to say his name either, but you know who he is. I know who he is. I don't necessarily know how to pronounce his last name. I'm going to Passan. Jeff Passan said that the A's are incompetent. No one would be surprised if this fell apart. I should definitely know how to pronounce his last name, but I don't, dude. So Passan appeared on Pardon the Interruption on Friday and was asked about the Athletics' potential relocation to Vegas. Jeff described the A's relocation process as messed up from the start. Jeff was also asked whether or not the other team owners have expressed doubts about the entire operation as the team moves to Las Vegas. The MLB insider said the Athletics' innate incompetence lends to the belief that the move could fall through. So the other owners in the league thinks that the ownership group of the A's, the front office, the people making these decisions are fucking incompetent. And that is Jeff Passan. That is Jeff Passan. That is him saying that, right? Those aren't my words. Those are his. Those are pretty crazy words. There are doubts everywhere about the A's because here's the one thing that they've proven themselves adept at: being completely incompetent. The whole process has been messed up from the start. The entire thing, from the beginning, has been a disaster. If this thing fell apart, it would surprise absolutely nobody, Jeff said. Man, it sounds like this is a absolute shit show, and it seems like that is 100% factual. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. My vote is for Salt Lake City. 100% think Salt Lake City is the place to go. Gorgeous. Man, they are looking for it. They are open to it. They have the money ready for it. $3.5 billion. They are ready to go. I think it would be a no-brainer to move there. If the Oakland A's aren't competent, if they can't figure it out and get there, it's going to be a beautiful spot for an expansion team. I'm unpacking it, trying to think about it like this. Dude, imagine being a player trying to make the roster on a team with a bunch of question marks surrounding it. So I'm going into spring training. I just worked my beanbag off to put on 20 pounds of muscle, to get my swing right, to get everything right going into spring training. And there are question marks surrounding the team that I am going to try to make a spot on, right? That's crazy, dude. I don't know. Baseball's hard enough. Baseball's hard enough. Hitting a baseball is so hard. But imagine this kind of surrounding everything, making it 10 times harder. Salt Lake City's the way to go. Make it happen. Make it happen. Oh. In other baseball news, Blake Snell reportedly has an offer on the table from the New York Yankees, right? So it's unclear what kind of offer the Yankees have extended to Blake Snell. The team reportedly offered him 5 years and $150 million earlier this offseason before pivoting to Marcus Stroman, per Nightingale. So this dude said no to 5 years and 150 beans. MLB Network insider John Heyman reported for the New York Post on February 1st that the Yankees were willing to exceed Carlos Rodon's 6-year, $162 million banger in their negotiations with Snell's agent, Scott Boras. Scotty Boras is, a pretty regular dude when it comes to, getting those big time contracts being in the news, man. We are like, spring training started today. So these guys, we're talking about Bellinger, talking about Snell. These dudes don't have deals in place. These guys don't have deals in place. Spring training started today. As opening day draws closer, it's possible Snell and Boris will show more of a willingness to budge on their demands. The Southpaw needs to sign soon if he wants to have enough time to build up for the start of the season. So that is a double-edged sword. Did you try to hold out? You and your agent try to hold out and end up fucking yourself? So now you're going to have to take a deal in order to get ready for spring training, get ready for opening day. You said no to a 5-year, 130. Nah, you said no to a 5-year, $150 million contract. Now spring training started and you don't have a home. So what are you going to do? You're going to have to say yes to something. It's weird. I'm looking forward to see how this plays out. The Yankees rotation as it stands right now: Garrett Cole, Nestor Cortez, and Clark Schmidt, in addition to picking up Marcus Stroman and Carlos Rodon. Rodon and Cortez combined for 26 starts and a 5.92 ERA last season. That is not good. It's not good. Marcus Stroman had an 8.29 ERA over his final 11 appearances with injuries. Aside from that, man, he had a strong year with the Cubs. Didn't finish great. But obviously he solidified himself. He's in a decent spot this year here on the Yankees. We'll kind of see what it looks. Like. The American League East consists of the Orioles, the Rays, the Red Sox, the Blue Jays, and the Yankees. New York Yankees. The Orioles look strong, but have a plethora of injuries now. Right? Coming into spring training, you heard about all the obliques, all the hammies. Dude, I don't even know if it's a hammy, but I know the obliques and shit are roaring right now over there in Baltimore. How will they fare? How will the Yankees fare with all this? I don't think the Yankees have an unreal season. These guys have big names, obviously, but they're all made of glass. If they're healthy, it's a strong year. I just saw a picture of Giancarlo Stanton today in spring training, and he looked skinnier than me. I'm 170 pounds, 175 pounds, soaking wet. What's good? What's going on with Giancarlo Stanton? This guy doesn't look good. I'm used to seeing Giancarlo Stanton look like you ever seen the movie 300 with fucking Xerxes with the nose ring and he's got like a nose ring and then he's got the thing attached to his ear, but he's like the Greek god thing, whatever. That's what I think of when I think of Giancarlo Stanton. Big, good-looking dude, home run threat, but he did not look good. I don't want to say he looked sick. That's not right. But he did not look good. Skinny does not look good on Giancarlo Stanton. Does not look good. Is he going to be a stolen base threat now? If he slides into second base wrong, he's made of glass, he will break. So that's a no. That's going to be a no from me, dog. I don't think the Yankees are going to be contenders this year. Sorry about it. Mike Trout and the Angels, man. So speaking on the first day of full squad workouts for the Angels, Mike Trout said he spoke with owner Artie Moreno and the front office about his status and is currently content with his situation. If I was making that money for that amount of time, I would be content with, playing on a subpar team as well. Mike Trout, who has a full no-trade clause, remains under contract through 2030 after signing a 12-year banger worth $426.5 million before the 2019 season. The 3-time AL MVP and 11-time All-Star has only been to the postseason once with the Angels since making his debut in 2011, getting swept by the Royals in the 2014 ALDS. It's only been a natural wonder if he'd won out, but Trout, who is now 32, I'm about to turn 32 in 2 days, happy birthday me, believes winning with the Angels would be more satisfying than jumping ship and finding success elsewhere. So he wants to stay, he wants to ride the ship out, and he wants to win. But he doesn't have the personnel or the people to win there. He's long embraced the idea of playing his entire career with one team, just like his idol, Derek Jeter. But that I can respect. I think the biggest thing right now is the easy way out would be asking for a trade, Mike Trout said. There might be a time, maybe. I haven't really thought about this. When I sign that contract, I'm loyal and I want to win a championship here. I think the overall picture of winning a championship or getting to the playoffs here is a bigger satisfaction than bailing and taking the easy way out. I think Dude, I get it. I think the easy way out would be staying there and remaining complacent. This sounds to me like a bunch of complacency, and that is a hot take because I fucking love Mike Trout. And Mike Trout is one of the best baseball players. Before Shohei Ohtani trickled into the conversation, Mike Trout was the GOAT. Everybody was sucking Mike Trout off, right? He's not Mr. Irrelevant. It's not that, right? He's not Mr. Irrelevant. He's playing on an irrelevant team. It's unfortunate, but I think the easy way out would be staying put, being complacent until 2030, and then figuring it out. I think if this man, I think he wants to win. I think he is saying the necessary things that he has to in order to be in the good graces, right? Still here in Anaheim, but I think he wants to win, and I think he understands that it's not going to happen. I think he understands it is not, excuse me, it's not going to happen in Anaheim. Trout acknowledged that his injuries haven't helped the club in recent years as he was limited to 36 games in 2021, 119 in 2022, and 82 games last year. That is not good. That is not good. He said his goal this year is to play fully healthy season under his belt and go from there. He believes he got enough assurances from the front office that the goal is still to win, as he liked what they did in overhauling their bullpen after losing Shohei Ohtani via free agency to the Dodgers. Bunch of beautiful words, but Mike Trout is not going to win in Anaheim. Get out. Get out and go win, bro. Get out and go win. You're not going to win in Anaheim with the Anaheim. Get out and win before your career is over, dude. You could be a dude. You're the dude. You're in your prime. Get out there and win. So the AL West, this is what I'm talking about. You expect the Angels to compete and win in a division with the Rangers, the Mariners, the Astros, and the Salt Lake City A's? No chance, man. You're not beating the Rangers. The Mariners are going to bruff you up. No chance you beat the Astros, bro. What? Get out, Mike Trout. Come on, man. Make some stuff happen. It's not going to happen there in Anaheim. Moving on, 360. College baseball news, man. So like I said, like I alluded to in the opening statements, this was the opening weekend for college baseball. I have 3 stories, and then I'm going to get out of here. Got to go play some video games, play some Call of Duty with my boys. There were 3 big stories this weekend on opening weekend in the college baseball world that, I mean, one is extremely inspiring. The second one is a little baffling. And the third one is kind of cool. It's, an international splash. So first story here I want to touch on, man. It is inspirational. It is badass. And I'll get into it. East Carolina University, currently ranked 11 in the nation right now in college baseball. They opened up this weekend. I think they were playing Rider. Yeah, and they roughed them up a little bit, right? So ECU baseball player Parker Bird becomes the first D1 baseball player in a game with a prosthetic leg. So this guy was in a boating accident and got his, I'm going to choose how I say these words. He got part of his leg amputated, right? So he was in a boating accident. It was unfortunate. Big time Division I baseball player. He gets his fucking leg cut off. Now he's back, dude. So he's wearing a prosthetic leg and he is back influencing a top 15 team in the country. Anything's possible. Not only did number 11 East Carolina open its campaign with a commanding 16-2 spanking over Rider, but Parker Bird, who had part of his right leg amputated following a boating accident in 2022, made his collegiate debut in the 8th inning wearing a prosthetic. Following a first pitch strike, he drew 4 straight balls and reached base with a walk. It was incredible to see. I was getting goosebumps watching it. My heart was pounding watching it. What's even cooler is that there was a sellout 5,221 fans on opening night in that stadium, which was the largest opening day crowd that East Carolina has had in their ballpark. Absolutely fucking gorgeous ballpark. Got to check it out. It's an unbelievable story of true grit I don't even know how he's able to do it. I'll be completely honest with you. I just let's turn the tables here. Let's think about it. Imagine getting your leg chopped off. Imagine having your leg chopped off, amputated, however you want to say it. I know that's not the right way to say it, but in a freak accident, and all you want to do is just play baseball, though. It's pretty badass, man. It's pretty badass. Parker Bird, that's badass, man. It seems like he is surrounded by a great support system, family. I've seen some interviews with the family. It seems like they got his back. Obviously, his team is surrounding him. They have his back. The teammates, man, it's unbelievable. I was fortunate enough to have Cliff Godwin, Coach Godwin here on the podcast, on the show, head coach for East Carolina University, and we talked at length about just how he coaches his guys, right? What the thought process is behind there, what the culture's like in the locker room, and just the tight knit atmosphere between the coaches and the players, man. That's unbelievable. It seems like the right man is at the helm, Cliff Godwin, to be able to handle this and to be able to lead these men with a story like this and just be able to, go about his job day in and day out. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. Great support. Friend of the show, Coach Godwin. It's awesome. East Carolina, number 11 team in the country. Watch out for them. I'll be honest with you. I think they might win I got them winning the College World Series this year. Heard it here first. What day is today? Monday, February 19th. Ian Miller says they're winning the College World Series after just 3 games. You heard it. Next. This is baffling. This one's baffling. I talked about Sacramento kind of being a little dumpy of an area, in my opinion. I didn't like it where I stayed. Sacramento State baseball player Matt Masciangelo. Let me try that again. Sacramento State Matt Masciangelo had 8 hit by pitches in 9 at-bats over the weekend against Loyola Marymount. So he was hit by 7 pitches in 8 at-bats during a doubleheader. So that's insane. That is insane, getting hit by 7 pitches in 8 at-bats. Then the next day, again on Sunday, after being plunked 7 times in 8 at-bats, he gets fucking hit by another pitch. So he's been hit by 8 pitches in 9 at-bats over the weekend against Loyola Marymount. He said, after the 3rd hit by pitch, in the first game, I couldn't help but laugh at the absurdity of the situation. It's not every day you find yourself trotting to first base multiple times without swinging. I guess it was after that moment I realized this was completely ludicrous. I had 4 more balls, unfortunately, find me after that, but hey, I'll take the on-base percentage. That's an absolutely fantastic way of looking at it. For me, I wouldn't be able to do it. It seems like there was no malicious intent, as he was saying. Matt Masciangelo is Italian, I'd imagine. Masciangelo. So after the 3rd hit by pitch in the first game, couldn't help but laugh. That's a great way of looking at it. That's bullshit on my part. So I've played on teams where my teammates were soft. I've played on teams where my teammates were bad motherfuckers. Regardless of any team that I played on, even if it's in the middle, that's got to be policed. There's got to be something that's got to be done about that. Somebody doesn't get hit that many times on purpose or on accident. What are the umpires doing? Did the umpires address it? How are you going to get hit 8 times in 2 days, my guy? That's absurd. Somebody's got to do something about that. So it's going to be interesting to see their next matchup. What happens? Is there going to be retaliation? Is he going to play? Is it about winning? Who knows? He doesn't feel like he was being targeted. Good for him. So the big question is, there's an opportunity for stolen bases and making shit happen on top of that. So I'd be interested to see, was he able to utilize all that on-base percentage? Was he able to make some stuff happen? I know that they may have, I think it was, they split that game on Saturday, or those 2 games on Saturday. But there's a buzz around his name. People know this guy's name, right? Matt Masciangelo. So there's a buzz around his name now, dude. He could accidentally cash in on this exposure. NIL, name, image, likeness. There are dweebs cashing in on name, image, and likeness in college sports. There are dweebs that sit the bench that make a bunch of money. Football. Big SEC schools, there are dweebs that just make money because they're there. That's how it works. Matt, not sure if you're going to hear this. Cash in. Cash in, big dog. Maybe get you a deal with Evo Shield. Body armor, some shit. Something. Protect yourself, my guy. Protect yourself. Get paid, man. Get yours. Can't fly. Getting hit 8 times in 9 at-bats can't fly. I'd be interested to see if they see each other again this year. We'll see. Last story, and then I got to get out of here. Get on Call of Duty. Let me actually, while I'm thinking about it, let me text my buddies. Let them know I'm coming. Hey, what's up, dude? I'll be on in a couple minutes. I'm shooting a live show. Go ahead. Stanford baseball commit. The Japanese home run phenom, Rintaro Sasaki. So, Stanford baseball team just got a brand new commit, a power hitter from Shohei Ohtani's high school over in Japan, right? So he set the Japanese record with 140 home runs in high school, 140. And I've seen some of these highlights that this dude's pumping out, and they are fucking big boy bombs. These aren't just sneaking over like little queefs over the fence, dude. These are big boy bombs. So this is going to be a dude for a big team, right? It's going to be interesting to see kind of what the success looks like. But Sasaki's calling card is his thunderous raw power, which comfortably grades out as a 70 on the 20-day eating sat. Let's try that again here. Sasaki's calling card is his thunderous raw power, which comfortably grades out as a 70 on the 20 to 80 scouting scale. While his power is his premier tool, Sasaki also has a knack for consistently finding the barrel and has a great feel to hit. Who does this sound like? He has plenty of bat speed as well as big-time buggy whip. Buggy whip in his hands. Bugggy. Buggy whip in his hands. This is an article. Sasaki has also shown an advanced approach and has walked twice as many times as he has struck out. Defensively, Sasaki is limited to first base, and he fields the position well. Right? So he was going to be the number 1 pick over there in that draft. And he is foregoing that. He's going to be coming over here. He's going to be getting an education, a Stanford education. It's fucking top notch. He's going to be playing for Coach Esker, another friend of the podcast. He was on here. He's going to be under good leadership, man. It's going to be exciting to see kind of how that unfolds. But who was alluding to, who does that kind of remind you of? Who is that first baseman that got drafted this past year for the Angels? Nolan Schanuel. Man, I'm terrible with names, but his first name's Nolan, and he was in the big leagues this year playing first base. FAU, that dude can fucking bang. And if you can bang, they'll find a spot for you. So, Rintaro Sasaki, welcome. It's going to be interesting to see how you perform. The NCAA's rules prohibit international athletes from receiving money through NIL endeavors. In other words, this move was not outright motivated by short-term financial gains. As I said, he looked like he was set to be the number 1 pick over there in the draft, right, in Japan. Kind of go through the ranks there, become a star there, maybe, come over here the same way Shohei Ohtani did, man. Same way Ichiro did. He's foregoing it. He's coming over here. It's going to be interesting to see. Does that mean he can get drafted now? Yeah, I think that's how it goes. I think. Stanford is currently 1-2. They fell out of the top 25 after facing Cal State Fullerton this weekend, right? So they're not off to a hot start, man, but they're going to have some big-time power coming in. It's going to be interesting to see what this looks like next year. And that's all I got. That's all I got. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. This is Ian Miller. Thank you for watching the 9 Hole Podcast. What do we have going on this week? So Wednesday, I'm going to be having 2 Division I commits, D1 commits, one New Jersey Institute of Technology, NJIT, the other Penn State University. I'm going to have a pitcher and a catcher on here, and I'm going to have them talk about their journey, their recruiting process, what worked for them, what didn't work for them, right? Ideas, ideologies behind certain things. We're going to get them on here. See you then. Friday, I'm going to be on here with David. We're going to just be talking about some news, bullshitting, having a good time as the weekend approaches. And then next Monday, I'm going to be having Cameron Rupp on here. So Cam Rupp is an ex-teammate of mine. He was a catcher. I think he played parts of 4 or 5 seasons with the Phillies. Man, he's a great dude. He was an assistant at Texas. Yeah, and now he's with a JUCO out there right outside of Austin. So I'm gonna have him in, talk a little bit about his journey, talk about the big leagues, man, talk about baseball. That's it, man. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'll see you guys again next time. Take care. Namaste.